only has 2 gigs of RAM as opposed to 3 gigs of RAM on the Moto X Pure Edition. So the fact that these two devices go toe to toe, even with their slight differences in hardware and software, it just brings a really, really big smile to my face. That being said, in terms of hardware and software, again, I'm going to have to call this category a tie across the board. Picking these two devices up has really been a joy when it comes to the hardware and the software. Now, let's keep it moving. Now, the next thing I want to talk about with you guys is the Wi-Fi built into these guys. Now, let's start with the Moto X Pure Edition here. Now, in terms of Wi-Fi, the Moto X Pure Edition has Wi-Fi 802.11, BGNN, and AC. So, what does that mean? That means with the Moto X Pure Edition, you'll have access to your 2.4 GHz band and your 5 GHz band, wherever you have that enabled. So if you have a router at your house that takes advantage of both bands, that's cool. If you're at work and your work has a good solid network that has both bands, then you're good to go. That being said, in terms of Wi-Fi with the Moto X Pure Edition, I'd have to say that it's been a really, really fluid experience, and I've had little to no issues with the built-in Wi-Fi on the Moto X Pure Edition. And the same thing can be said of the data performance as well. Y'all can see some of my data numbers here. Is in areas where I've had really good coverage, the data has been phenomenal. And the same thing can be said of the Wi-Fi. Now let me just load this video up real fast. Alright. And you guys can see, again, I have a ton of stuff open in the background. That's why that took a second to load back up. Alright, stop that there real quick. Matter of fact, I can leave that up because we're going to come back to that in a second. Now, let's talk about the Wi-Fi on the ZTE Z-Max Pro. Now, in terms of Wi-Fi, guys, the ZTE Z-Max Pro has Wi-Fi 802.11, BG, and N. So, no AC on this guy. So, you only have access to your 2.4 GHz band, no 5 GHz band. But again, in terms of Wi-Fi, it has been a very fluid and enjoyable experience, and the same can be said of the data performance as well. Where I have coverage, the data has been an enjoyable experience. So in terms of Wi-Fi, I would have to say on both of these devices, it has been a really enjoyable experience, and I've had little to no issues. No issues whatsoever. Now, that's enough talk. Let's go ahead and load up a YouTube video so you guys can see how this guy performs in real time. How you can see how both of these guys perform in real time. And this will also double as a speaker test. So let me go ahead and we're going to test these speakers at 50% volume and 100% volume. So that's 50% over there. And I believe that's 50% over here. Hold on. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. Jump back with it. And that's about 50% right there. So let's start with the Moto X Pure Edition. So enjoy, guys. I'll play the video, test the speakers, and we're going to scrub through it so you can see how it performs in real time. Enjoy. So that's the Wi-Fi and speaker performance on the Moto X Pure Edition. Let's take it to the ZTE Z-Max Pro. Same thing, here we go. Alright, so that was the Wi-Fi and speaker performance on the ZTE Z-Max Pro. So, you guys may be wondering, who wins in these categories? Now, in terms of overall Wi-Fi and fluidness and performance of the Wi-Fi, I might have to say that that's a tie across the board again. Regardless of which device you pick up, in terms of Wi-Fi, you should have no issues. Now, in terms of speaker performance, in my opinion, I believe that the Moto X Pure Edition takes this one simply because of the fact that these speakers, in my opinion, are where they're supposed to be. They're on the front and they're front firing. Now, that does not mean to say that the speaker on the Z-Max Pro is bad. No, it's not bad by any way, shape, or form. It's just placed in the wrong area. As you heard, it was very loud, crisp, and clear, and I had no issues with the speaker, but because it's rear firing, it's very easy to muffle, and you really got to get used to cupping your hand to get that sound to come towards you. And it's simply based on that why the Moto X Pure Edition takes the edge in the speaker performance. Alright, let's keep it moving. Up next now, we're going to talk about the bands and the LTE support on both devices. We can start with the Moto X Pure Edition. And pretty much, guys, the Moto X Pure Edition will work on any carrier in the United States and any carriers abroad, internationally, you name it. You drop your SIM in and it should work, no problems. No problems whatsoever. Now, when I say every carrier, I mean Sprint, Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, and any of their MVNOs, Metro PCS, Cricket, Virgin, you name it. You drop the SIM in, this guy is just going to work and work no problem. You probably won't even have to mess with APNs. Okay? Now, that's where the ZTE Z-Max Pro loses ever so slightly, because this guy only works on GSM carriers. Now, if you watched my review, you'll know that this guy was originally a Metro PCS device, and it has been unlocked to work on any GSM carrier in the United States. So who is that? That's AT&T and T-Mobile and any of their MVNOs like Metro PCS or Cricket. Alright? But in terms of overall bands, you only have LTE band support for band 2, band 4, and band 12. Along with, you have all your band support for GSM and HSPA plus bands in this guy. So, in terms of bands, I would have to say that the Moto X Pure Edition takes this one hands down. This one works on pretty much every carrier, as opposed to this one working on only the GSM carriers. So the Moto X Pure Edition takes the W there. Now, let's keep it moving. Up next, the next thing I want to talk about with you guys is the Bluetooth performance in these devices. Let's start with the Moto X Pure Edition. Now, in terms of Bluetooth, the Moto X Pure Edition has Bluetooth 4.1 in it, and I have to say that other than the fact that the Bluetooth sometimes does not recognize when I have a Bluetooth device enabled from when I don't, so sometimes it doesn't engage the external speakers. Other than that, the Bluetooth performance on the Moto X Pure Edition has been okay. No issues aside from that big issue there where sometimes the Bluetooth chip doesn't recognize that I've disconnected my Bluetooth enabled device. So sometimes the external speakers don't engage. To fix that, however, big thank you to one of my subscribers that showed me a quick way to fix that. You just toggle on and off your airplane mode and you're good to go. Because previously I toggled on and off the Bluetooth, and if that didn't work, I just restarted the device. So other than that big issue there, the Bluetooth performance on the Moto X Pure Edition has been okay. Now, in terms of Bluetooth on the ZTE Z-Max Pro, I'll have to say that I've had no issues. Now, when we talk about Bluetooth technology on the Bluetooth on the ZTE Z-Max Pro, getting a little tongue-tied, guys, sorry. This guy has Bluetooth 4.0 technology in it, and I gotta tell you guys, I've had no issues whatsoever when it comes to the Bluetooth in this guy. And I've connected up headphones, I've connected up speakers, I've connected up other phones, and everything has connected with no issues, and I've had no issues whatsoever when it comes to the Bluetooth on the ZTE Z-Max Pro. So, in this regard, I would have to say that the ZTE Z-Max Pro takes the edge when it comes to Bluetooth, because this one just works, and it works without issues, no problems whatsoever, whereas this one sometimes has trouble recognizing when the Bluetooth device is connected from when it isn't, so sometimes the external speakers don't engage. So in terms of Bluetooth, the ZTE Z-Max Pro takes the W in this category. Now, let's keep it moving. The next thing I want to talk about now is the overall call quality and speaker call quality on both devices. And pretty much, I have to say again, the ZTE Z-Max Pro takes the slight edge when it comes to speaker call performance. I had no issues with the speaker call performance on the ZTE Z-Max Pro. That being said, I had no issues on the Moto X Pure Edition either. I just wish that, and at least to me, I wanted it to get a touch bit louder. You know, it could have got a touch bit louder, where I did not have that issue with the Z-Max Pro. Now, in terms of receiver call quality, both of these devices were good in that regard. Didn't have any issues with receiver call quality on either of these devices. So, when it comes to the built-in receivers, it's a tie. When it comes to speaker call performance, the ZTE Z-Max Pro takes the W. Now, let's keep it moving. And up next, let's talk about the cameras on these devices. Let's start with the Moto X Pure Edition. Now, before we jump into the camera itself, again, I got to talk about all the ways that you can get into the camera. So, on the Moto X Pure Edition, it's a quick twist of the wrist, and we in there like Belvedere. Bam. And it's just that quick. Now, when we talk about the camera interface on the Moto X Pure Edition, it's very clean, it's very simple, and it's very straightforward. And in my opinion, it's the most user-friendly camera interface on any smartphone to date. Now, when you jump in, if you want to take a picture, you just simply tap on the screen. Alright? If you want to take a video, just tap on the video icon. And you can take photos while in video, while just touching the screen. Snapping that video there. Come out, you just push the stop. Now, to get into more settings, you just swipe in from this side, and you see you have access to your HDR, you have access to your flash, you got access to your camera resolutions. So right here you can see you can record video at 1080p at 30 frames.